The last thing that you want to happen is to have to rename your company or change your website because you didn't have the information in this video. This is very important. I've been a professional web designer for 20 years, and if you don't have this information, you might have to change your domain name and in some cases even change your company. So what I'm talking about is the difference between your domain name registration and your web hosting. A lot of people really don't understand the difference, and some less ethical hosting companies will register a domain name on your behalf, but then not give it to you and keep you hostage. Even though you paid for the hosting and you paid for the domain name, if the domain name is not assigned to you personally and you don't have control of it, your hosting company has control of it, and therefore they have control of you. And this is the last thing we want to happen. This was a practice that was done 20 years ago when I first started off in the business, but less so today. But for some reason in the last month or so, I had 3 of my clients come to me and say that their hosting company wanted thousands of dollars because they wanted the domain name, or in some cases, in one case, the hosting company forgot to renew the domain name, and a foreign company got a hold of it, and the company had to change their entire corporate name. It cost tens of thousands of dollars. It's a totally ridiculous thing. So here's the difference. Your domain name registrar is the central database that tells the internet where your domain name goes. So this would be like your street address for your house, right? You live at 13 Cherry Lane. No one else lives at 13 Cherry Lane. That is yours. That's your domain name registration. That says who owns the domain name and where does it go. The second part, which is what most people are used to, is the domain hosting. This would be more like your house, right? You go to the address, there could be a house there, which is your website, or there may not be a house there. It could be just you own the domain name, but you haven't done anything with it. So if you hang on just for a couple of seconds, I'm going to walk you through the steps to just double check that you own the domain name. And the important thing about this is that you need to have control. And if you don't, basically you're at the whim of the host. If the hosting company registered it in their name, you're at their mercy. You're at their control. They can say that you can't move from them. If you're locked into them with a marketing contract, they can say, well, you have to continue, paying us $500 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever it is. So, basically you want to just have control of the domain name through the registrar, which is going to be a separate entity from the domain hosting. Okay, so we're just going to go to my desktop and I'm going to walk you through how to check who owns the domain name. So this is a website that I use to find out who actually owns the domain name. This doesn't tell you who's hosting it. This only tells you who is the actual owner of the domain name. And also, with this information and with the power of owning the domain name, you can choose any hosting company you want. You can use, there's many of good hosting companies out there, but if your current hosting company owns the domain name and they decide not to give it to you, you really don't have any recourse other than the legal route. But if you own it, then then you're in good shape. You can leave your hosting company whenever you want. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay them, but they can't blackmail you into paying more money than you really owe. So this is a website that I've been using for many, many years. I have no association with it. It's a free service. I recommend them. It's just really simple to use. There's many other tools similar to this on the internet. I just like to use this one because it's simple and clean and very easy to use. So it's centralops.net/CO, and you don't have to type in the CO. It'll automatically put it in for you. So just centralops.co, and under the first option where it says domain dossier, put in your website. Okay, and what it'll do is it'll go to the central database of domain names and figure out where does that one go. So for example, if you put an address on an envelope and drop it in the mail, a traditional letter, it'll go to the central post office. It'll figure out which date to send it to, which zip code, which post office, and it'll find your house. Now, this just says who owns the address. It doesn't mean that you have a house there or hosting or anything like that. So once I look it up, it'll say it found the domain name, Organic Biz U, the registrar. This is actually where the domain name is registered. This one is registered with GoDaddy, and I have access to that account, so I'm very happy. The name server, this says where this domain is actually being hosted. So I've set up a fancy-dancy name server on my own domain, which is great. And then here's the information, the registrant name. This is the very, very important information. This says who owns that domain name, and it is me, Aaron Jay Lev. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I have an email address assigned for it. And here's a bonus tip for you. I created a special email address just for my domain name registrations. So if I get an email from it going to this address, I know that the person got my email address from scraping the Whois database. This is a record in the Whois database. It's probably not something I'm interested in. It's probably a spam message, and I can, go through those at my leisure. On the other hand, someone might be interested in purchasing my domain name or contacting me, so I will check it every day or two just to see what's going on. And just picking a special email address for your registrant email is a way of not having to get the privacy option on the domain names. Personally, I'm in business. I'm a serious guy. You can know where my office is. You can know my name. I don't care if you know that I own that domain name, because I'm not doing anything foolish or illegal. Coming down, you also have the admin. There's multiple contact records on the account. In most cases, they're all going to be the same. So the admin is also me. The tech is also me. In some cases, you might want to give your CTO, you might want to list your CTO as the tech access on the record. Usually doesn't make a difference. A lot of people use GoDaddy for their registrar, and they have tools at the account level to take care of that. And that's where it is. So, and then also on this tool, it gives you some other information. This website is hosted with Liquid Web, so it actually looked up where that IP address is going, and it gives some additional information about the IP address, where it's registered, and who owns it and such like that. But basically, what you really want to make sure is that your registrar is in your name, which means that you also have control of it. You should also have control of the registrar account. So at GoDaddy, if I log into my account, I can see my domain names. I'm very happy. I have a second login to my hosting company to make changes in my hosting account. That's separate. If you're both have your domain name registered with GoDaddy and you're hosting with GoDaddy, it's going to be the same place, but it's two separate places, in the GoDaddy control panel. Okay. So that's how you check to see who owns the domain name. If the domain name is owned by your hosting company, I would strongly recommend that you send them an email, ask them to transfer ownership and control of the domain name to you, because that is going to be very important. If you have a lot of money invested in the domain name, You might need to get lawyers involved. Hopefully not. But best thing to do when you're signing up for hosting is to register the domain names yourself and then sign up for hosting, and then point your website, your domain name, to the new hosting account you just set up. In the comments in this video, I'm going to give you a link to a hosting company that I recommend. Fair warning, I am an affiliate of that company, so if you sign up, I will get $1 or $2. And if you sign up, thank you. If you are interested in marketing your website or building your website, or have any other questions with your domain name, hosting, marketing, social media, please go visit my website. I've added as many free resources as possible for you to help you out. And if you have further questions, there's a way to contact me or my team. So we want you to not have any surprises and have a great experience and be able to focus on your blogging and talking about whatever it is you're interested in. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the video below, in the comments of the video below. And this is Jay Lev, and I hope you have a great time with your website. Thanks.